But that child just came from a home. He or she will return to that home. You actually take him to school. What happens to when he or she returns back home?
I mean, you have governmental laws protecting you for acting. So like what he said, there are social systems, there's social infrastructure made for those kind of children. If you take that child to a social care house, like he said, you are not breaking the law. I mean, you are even, the parent of that child is in trouble. It's supposed to be in school. There's a universal basic education.
That's in Lagos.
In Lagos. And even in Nigeria, the UBE platform says that all child, I mean, look at what happened in Akwa Ibom when Godfrey Akpabio was governor. I mean, it was clear. If your child was outside of school during school time, it was a criminal offense. They come to your house and they arrest you and they take the child from you. So, if you look at it, a lot of things has been put in place to protect the Nigerian child. Implementation is what is missing. You know, it has been said that we're not a country without laws. We're not a country without initiative. It is the implementation. And just hold it there. I said, I mean, when I knew I was going to come in to talk about the Nigerian child today, I said I will speak from two perspectives, actually. One of curiosity and infrastructure. The Nigerian child, every child is born with curiosity. So if we have a child here right now, the child won't be here for the whole of this conversation. The child will go to her side, come to you, come to me, try to climb everywhere around. That's curiosity. The challenge I have found with the Nigerian child is that the curiosity of the Nigerian child is beaten out of the child, abused out of the child, before the child's personality is even formed at 6. So, we're talking about, I mean, I heard how much you talked about the governor of today. It's not just, he didn't just appear. He's the product of a lot of influence. And when you take a child's curiosity from him, you cannot have a productive child in the long run. So that's one. So then I talk about infrastructure again. Infrastructure is, what are the things that we have put in place for our children to learn with? I looked at, I mean, I took my time to check primary, I'm not talking about universities now, secondary, no, primary education. Then I checked, I went through a school recently, I almost cried. Do you know why I almost cried? Because I discovered that our problems, we're not even ready to solve them. If you build world-class train in this country now, build the roads, we have not started. And I'll tell you why. Because I now know that development cannot be bought. You can't upgrade your way into development. You build a culture of development, and it starts with the child. So when a child goes to school with a dilapidated building, there is no swimming pool. We're talking about, well, see, I checked primary schools abroad. I checked it. You see, don't tell me we don't have the money. It's not true. It's not true. So I checked the best of our primary schools in Nigeria. You know we have a well that looks like a good building with one football pitch, no net in the goalpost, and then a governor comes and commissions it. What do we have inside? White marker board, because we're no longer using chalk. Then you have some steel, some very funny wood they call new kind of desk, right? I'm still on infrastructure. Then I went to check schools abroad. The primary schools are better than our universities. Why wouldn't they give you Facebook? Why wouldn't they give you Twitter? Because right from when that child was young, their curiosity was met with a lot of balance. They manage their curiosity. When a child is doing everything abroad, they don't beat the child. They encourage the child. Here we beat, we abuse, we do everything, and the child loses that curiosity. They can't create, they can't think for themselves. So they come to school, the teacher is saying, shut up, with cane. They can't question.
Yeah. Because there have been debates on whether a child should be, you know, the rod should be used on the child. And some people have said, yes, you said, you know, the curiosity is there. How do you balance and make sure that this child is not out of line?
My mentor, Olakule Sherian, said something. There are no stubborn children. We only have ignorant parents. Why do you... I mean, the America we all want to run to, they don't beat their children. Doesn't it show to us that flogging children is not right?
Yes, they don't beat their children, but they still have issues to deal with.
No, see, it's a simple thing. I just said now, the America we want to run to, they have issues, but we want to still go there.
Okay, let's hear this. We'll go back.
Permit me to put a background at this for the understanding of our viewers. Yeah. We're looking at the Child Rights Act and how it emerged. 1990, there was a Convention of Nations where this act was accepted, and it has all the nations to go and domesticate it. Nigeria did their whole in 2003. The convention took place in 1990. The domestication in Nigeria 2003. Look at the gap for serious government. Now, after it's been domesticated, it has all the states to go and domesticate it. And the focus in Nigeria was, like the Prof said, the northern children who were almost backward in education, the south children who were almost turning to child labor. And they could look at the picture of this children in the future and say, okay, let's do something fast. So Obasanjo regime tried to the national government domesticated it. Now, for the state governments to turn it to a law, out of 36 states, only 18, 16. Now 18, I think, was formerly 16. Out of 36 states, only 18 has domesticated this law. And what does the law say? It says the survivor, the first one to survive of the child, that every child has right to survivor. Must survive. Survival means provision of adequate nutrition, medical support, care. Access to health. That's survivor. They talk of development. Every child has right to development, developmental rights. It says educational development. When the children are educated, they will be all there to understand their country better and they'll be able to fulfill their destiny. The third one talks about protection. And under the protection, there are three categories. Physical abuse, when it talks of injury and using of rod and caning and causing laceration. Emotional abuse, when you talk down the destiny of a child, so you can never amount to anything. Many of us suffered emotional. In fact, emotional abuse don't heal easily. Physical abuse even homes heal. But emotional abuse, many people carry to their lifetime. Many children's lives have been truncated by the way the parents speak to them. So that's emotional abuse. The third one is called sexual abuse. Child must be protected from being sexually abused. And the rate of sexual abuse now, particularly for the young one, it has lost control. It's very bad. The last one talking about participation. That children must be allowed to participate in decisions that affect them. You don't take decisions for them without them. You will carry them along. And that also guarantees their right to freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of communication. Don't put them aside. Don't make them feel as if they don't belong. So these are the fundamental principles. The four categories, major ones that we are talking about: physical abuse, discipline with dignity. Not until you break the hand of a child or cause wounds that are a terrible mark that the child can obey you. Forceful obedience instead of persuasions. We talk of survivor. I mean, talking of their survivor. I mean, talking of emotional abuse. We should stop talking rudely and to the future of the children. Put them. Many children are unhappy in their homes. There's no relationship with the father, with the mother. The mother is a bully. The father is a person that is never found at home. And all the father relationship is just need. What do you want? School fees, books. The father and the child only meet when the child wants to make the demand for what is requested in the school. Thereafter, no relationship again. There's total alienation within the home. Then we talk of sexual abuse. Children are not. There's no protection policy. There's no family protection policy.
Now you mentioned this sexual abuse, and I really don't know what's going on. But from day to day, you hear of cases, even fathers, abusing their own children sexually. Where did we miss this?
Well, I think our fundamental problem, like he has, said, is that we do not know how to apply what we need. Take, for instance, an aggressive father, a frustrated father would do just about anything. He was not brought up well himself. I've been with kids. If I take an example of my family, we're 13. My dad never raised a hand to beat us. Not once until he died. He died at age 86. And we're all graduates.
Wonderful.
And we've been everywhere. Nobody will point to my family has ever misbehaved. Kids of Akinyemi. This man sits you down as a child and he tells you he knows you can make it. When there are errors, he tells you about the errors. He tells you, I'm disappointed. And he brings in solution. This is what we are going to be able to do.
Oh.
You can still do it. He would tell our moms, you can't beat them. You can't beat them. You can correct them. He would counsel. That's what we need in schools.